Good afternoon, everyone. The question on my mind today, on the request of a commenter, is UNITI Group Inc. stock weak, or is it an absolute unit? Well, let's find out. This is a stock that begs a lot of questions. One, is this 15% yield sustainable for them? Two, why is it down 63% in the last year? Well, we're going to try to address a couple of those concerns and see if this is a potential buy or one that we just want to avoid. So, their tagline is unlocking the value of the network. They lease communications infrastructure, so like fiber optic stuff, essentially, from what I'm gathering. Now, I'm looking at their quarterly results, and I found that their basic funds from operations compared to the same quarter last year have declined substantially. However, the adjusted funds from operations are in the same kind of ballpark. And, if you do the math on the adjusted funds from operations, and this is just a quarter, mind you, 1 3-month period, they actually have, compared to their market cap of just under $1 billion, almost an 11% AFFO yield on the basis of just this one quarter, okay? So the fact that they're paying out 15% in dividends on an annual basis when they're bringing in 11% AFFO on a quarterly basis would seem to indicate that they can probably sustain the current level of dividends pretty easily if, there's no other issues. Now, the fact that regular FFO fell so dramatically, that could be an indicator of an issue, or the fact that they have this relationship with this other company, Windstream, where they seem extremely entangled. And Windstream had this bankruptcy. It's kind of complicated, but that could be, an issue, possibly explaining why the share price has declined so much in the last year. Another slight concern I had when I was looking over the financials of this company, if I could find the balance sheet, that would be fantastic. Would you look at that? So, total shareholders deficit, $2.3 billion, meaning the liabilities outweigh assets by more than 2 times what their total market cap is. Okay, so that right there is a concern for me if I was going to consider buying this company, because when it comes to REITs, okay, I don't necessarily want. I won't necessarily hate necessarily paying a premium on the net asset value, right? If it's a really well run REIT with really consistent financial results and returns, but the fact of the matter is, I'm seeing signs of inconsistency with this company, right? So, their dividend used to be 60 cents per share quarterly. At one point, it dropped to 5 cents, and now it's been steadily 15 cents per quarter for quite a while. Now, it is possible, maybe, if their AFFO stays where it's at, or, grows, that they could, very conceivably raise this dividend again. But the fact is, there is this history of cutting it. And it's not that long ago, right? It's 2019. They cut it down to a nickel from 60 cents, all right? Which means for these guys, the going can get tough in an absolute hurry, and your yield can drop by like 90%. Like that. And that right there, makes me question if I would even want to bother. Now, it could be that at current prices, with their current AFFO compared to their current dividend, that it's worth that risk because, hey, flip side, what if they raise this 15-cent dividend to 25 cents, 30 cents over time? It wouldn't take you very long at $3 or $4 a share, the range it's kind of in right now, to make back all of your initial investment in just straight up yield. And then at that point, you're basically free rolling, right? So I get where the potential appeal is here, but for me, I can't really say where I think this thing is going. It might be that it just warrants a little bit more research, maybe some more look at management guidance, forward-looking statements, etc. Maybe some examination of what was going on back in 2018, 2019 that caused this massive cut, and to see how things look today compared to then, that kind of thing. But I certainly wouldn't be jumping immediately into getting shares of this company until I understand those things a little bit better. I would also want to understand on this deficit what exactly this deferred revenue of $1.2 billion actually is. I mean, is this, what does this come from? And, why is it growing? And what does it effectively mean, for the health of the company? Because I don't know. And that seems to be a big chunk of the shareholders' deficit. And, the debt is another concern, of course. Refinancing $5 billion worth of debt when you've got a market cap of right around $1 billion. It's just quite a lot. It's burdensome, right? And I'm just, I see a lot of things that just straight up worry me about this company, and I just can't see myself pulling a trigger without the answers to some of these financial questions, right? The yield's tempting, appears to be well covered by adjusted funds from operations, and, very well could end up, just printing out really, really nice dividends for you for years to come. But personally, I think there's probably opportunities out there that are a much easier yes than this, a much more obvious yes than this. And so I'm probably going to spend my energy on those opportunities more so than something like this that's kind of a bit of a head scratcher, right? Because I would have a really hard time coming up with a valuation with the financials I'm looking at. Because if we're valuing it based on net asset value, well, it's negative, right? It's not worth anything. But obviously, the fact that AFFO is allowing them to pay out a pretty substantial distribution to their shareholders on a quarterly basis, that is worth something. But is the current multiple there fair, considering what the potential risk might be? That's a really, really hard question for me to answer at this point in time. So I'm gonna probably just take a rain check on this one, and potentially be open to more information going forward. But again, not rushing out to acquire shares in this company. Let me know if you own any shares of UNIT below. Hop onto Discord if you want to talk a little bit more in real time, and give it a like if you like it. I know I like it when you give me a like, so we can all like it together. And have a wonderful afternoon. Cheers, everybody.